Hey, happy Friday. This week, Intel announced a complete overhaul of their laptop chips, Microsoft announced lots of new things at their Surface and AI event, and Apple keeps failing at trying to make their own 5G modems. Welcome to the Friday Checkout. This video was sponsored by Bellroy. Okay, this week we start the brief with new Amazon devices. There are updates to the Fire TV sticks and the Echo frames, as well as 3 big new products. A $600 Wi-Fi 7 router called the Eero Max 7, a $120 Amazon Fire TV soundbar, which seems like a reasonably good value, and the $180 Echo Hub, which is Amazon's first true smart home controller. Next, in a surprise move, Chinese car maker NIO launched a phone this week. Beyond having a Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 and other high-end specs, the phone's main claim to fame is that it has over 30 custom integrations with NIO cars, so the company hopes that half of its car owners will also get the phone too. I personally doubt that, but if all the phone makers like Xiaomi are moving into making their own cars, then I guess it's only fair for the car makers to pull an Uno reverse card and to start making smartphones themselves. Also this week, replacement parts and iFixit repair guides have just become available for the Pixel Fold, so you can now technically fix your own foldable if you are brave enough. Now, the flexible inner screen costs a frightening $900 just the screen itself, so I hope you won't have to, but you could. And next, OpenAI's new image generator, DALL-E 3, launched this week, which should be better at generating images and will also help you describe what you want using ChatGPT integration. That is double AI for you. And finally, for the brief, Facebook updated its logo and they now claim that it is bolder, electric, and everlasting. Cool. Okay, for my first story of the week, Intel announced their next generation Meteor Lake chips, starting with their laptop processors, and this is easily the biggest overhaul of the company's chip lineup in many years, maybe even decades. First is the fact that they now use a chiplet design, meaning that the chip now actually consists of 4 separate tiles that are even made by different companies with different processes. Chiplets have been done by other companies like AMD before, but typically only on desktop and server chips, as they typically consume more power than the fully integrated chips. But Intel says that their packaging technology that connects them all, called Foveros, is so efficient that it's basically no longer an issue, and laptops can now use these chiplets too. The second new thing is that Taiwan's TSMC actually made multiple tiles, specifically with the more advanced N5 process for the GPU and the cheaper N6 process for the parts of the chip that are less performance critical. The main compute tile is made using Intel's long-awaited Intel 4 process, which finally sees Intel deploy EUV or extreme ultraviolet lithography at scale for the first time. Intel has famously been stuck with their old manufacturing process called Intel 7 for many years. It's been holding them back ever since, but theoretically they have finally broken that curse. They can now mass manufacture chips using Intel 4, that's what they claim, and that this new process alone should bring them at least 20% improvements in terms of efficiency. Also new is that this is Intel's first consumer chip with an integrated NPU or a neural processing unit that is used for AI, and the GPU also seems dramatically better. They claim that they have doubled the performance per watt over their predecessors, and they've also added ray tracing for the first time ever in an integrated Intel GPU. The CPU is also significantly redesigned, and so basically everything is new. The designs, the manufacturing, the overall layout of the chip, everything. It's Intel's biggest jump in many years, and I can't wait to see how this compares against Apple and AMD. Interestingly, at the event, they effectively tried to show that they are on track to overtake TSMC by 2025 in terms of manufacturing too, and they even showed off some prototypes to back that up. I wouldn't bet on them overtaking TSMC just yet, plus there aren't any real benchmarks out in the wild either, so, lots of caution is needed, but at least they are back in the ring. Okay, and for my second story of the week, Microsoft just had an insanely busy week. First, there was a massive leak from the company's court case with the FTC, which revealed things like that the Xbox Series X was due for a refresh soon, despite Microsoft claiming that it wasn't, and also that the company is exploring an ARM chip made by AMD of all companies as the next generation Xbox chip. An ARM-based Xbox chip would be pretty wild, although Phil Spencer, the head of Xbox, has since said that a lot of these rumors are out of date, so, who knows. Beyond the leaks, Panos Panay, the head of Surface and Windows, announced that he will be leaving Microsoft this week, and he has since been reported as heading to Amazon to head up their devices division, building products for Alexa and Echo. Panos was a Microsoft veteran of 19 years. He built both Surface and basically Windows 11 into what they are today, and if I had to guess why he had to leave, it's basically because both of these divisions needed some new blood. In Surface, there were multiple flopped products like the Surface Duo, and the company also seems to have become way less ambitious about its Surface devices. Just this week, on what was supposed to be the company's big Surface event, all they released were minor spec bumps to the Surface Studio, the Go, and the Laptop Go series, with Intel's 13th gen chips, just as the 14th generation was just announced, and even a 12th generation chip in the Laptop Go. That is a refresh that is almost 2 years out of date as soon as it is launched. I think that shows you that Surface overall just isn't the priority that it used to be, and priorities with Windows are shifting significantly too. I think Panos' contribution to Microsoft was bringing a clear focus on design, taste, and visual refinement, especially to Windows, which really helped it transform from a visual mess into something quite pretty in my opinion, but now there is a whole new focus in town. Replacing Panos Panay on Windows is Yusuf Mahedi, who's been running Bing/Edge AI and Copilot at Microsoft, and I think this says a lot. The design guy was swapped out for the AI guy, and clearly the focus for Microsoft going forward is to just try to jam AI into every single part of Windows that they can. And that's exactly what they showed at their big new event this week. From a more powerful Copilot that works across Windows, Office, and also supports third-party plugins, to AI features getting built into every possible Office application, as well as into apps like Photos, Snipping Tool, and also Paint, the whole event was showing AI, AI, and more AI. Paint actually got some non-AI features too, like layers, so you can kind of use it like Photoshop now, as well as support for transparent PNGs, hallelujah, after 38 years. But yeah, 99% of the talk at this event was AI. I guess it's AI all the way from now at Windows, and Panos probably just wasn't the right guy for that. Okay, and for my third story of the week, we have to talk about an unusual stumble from Apple. A new report from the Wall Street Journal claims that Apple's attempts to build a modern modem have failed pretty spectacularly. Inside sources claim that their modem is slow, hot, and apparently needs a circuit board, quote, so big it would have to take up half an iPhone, making it unusable. That might just be a prototype, I guess, but yikes. And this is despite Apple working on the tech for at least 5 years now and spending $1 billion on their acquisition of Intel's existing modem business, and despite a lot of industry people literally saying that Apple, quote, hates Qualcomm's living guts, so they desperately want to replace them. And instead, they've been forced to sign a deal with Qualcomm lately, so things clearly aren't going their way. Otherwise, the iPhone 15 reviews are out and they've been pretty positive so far. I kind of agree with them. During my brief hands-on time with them, I actually really like this device, the titanium frame that makes it much lighter, the USB-C, etc. It's not bad, but the one thing that people definitely do not like are these new fine woven cases. They just feel weirdly cheap despite costing almost $60. They look spotty with barely any use, including my unit right here, and an article on The Verge that called them, quote, categorically terrible even managed to become the most popular article on the entire site for a good while. Ouch. Now, if compromising on the quality of your accessories is not something that you want to do, then check out these new cases from Bellroy. The company has just brought out their accessories for the new Apple products, from iPhones to AirPods and Apple Watches, and iPhones in particular get 3 really cool case designs, including a simple but super beautiful one that has cards neatly integrated into it, and the third one that they call the Mod case, which makes things like your wallet modular. Bellroy also supports a bunch of Pixel and Samsung phones, and of course they have a ton of different accessories from wallets to backpacks and more. My Bellroy product of choice is my Venture backpack, which I've already raved about a few weeks ago, and which continues to be really, really solid. The outside is covered in this beautiful, rugged, water-resistant nylon that was recycled from industrial waste. The main opening happens through this quick-release hook, which is super convenient. The zippers have this super solid water-resistant coating that seals up really tight. The zippers also go all the way down so you can have easy packaging, and so you can see the soft inside that was made from recycled water bottles, and the backpack is just full of magnets and hidden pockets and the like. Also, everyone talks about being green these days, but Bellroy is an actual certified B Corp, so the materials they use are responsibly sourced. Products like my backpack here are made from some of the over 10 million plastic bottles and 60 kilograms of industrial nylon cutoffs that they claim to have upcycled so far. They use leather with special dry tanning processes that they claim has helped them save 15 million liters of water, and so on. Using my link in the description, you can get a 10% discount on any of their products, so check them out. I hope you find something great, and I'll see you next Friday.